Welcome friends, this is the Captain. We all know games like Mario Kart and the next big Mario game will be coming to Nintendo's new system sooner than later. In this video, we'll be taking a look at some wildcard game predictions for Switch 2. Games that at first may seem unlikely to come to the system, but the more you look into it, the more they seem possible. Many Nintendo fans have been hoping for some of these games to appear on Switch 2 as well. Remember, with Nintendo, you can always expect the unexpected. Up first is XenoBlade Warriors. Nintendo's Warrior games have been a great success so far. Nintendo and publisher Koei Tecmo's partnership has been fruitful, and developers Omega Force have done a really good job translating Nintendo's IPs into Warrior-style games over the past decade. Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity has sold over 4 million units worldwide, and Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes has sold over 1 million units. You would have to think that there is another Warriors game coming to Switch 2. We have 2 Zelda Warrior games and 2 Fire Emblem Warrior games. 2 is the magic number so far, so maybe it's time for another Nintendo IP to get the treatment. Out of all Nintendo's IPs, XenoBlade seems like it would be the best bet to be featured in its own Warriors game. The XenoBlade series has a huge cast of characters that are beloved by many. It would be amazing to see all the different worlds and areas from all the games mixed into one. The XenoBlade series also has some of the most epic music in gaming. Having some nice remixes in there would be awesome. Imagine the bosses they could include. Maybe even some scale action too. The XenoBlade Warriors game would be a good way to get more players into the ever-growing XenoBlade series. After 3 XenoBlade games and XenoBlade X, Monolith Soft may be moving on to another project for the next generation. There have been some rumors, including an open-world fantasy game. XenoBlade Warriors would be a nice way to keep XenoBlade fans happy in the meanwhile. I know Monolith Soft has been on record saying that they have a hard time getting anything other than XenoBlade approved by Nintendo, but I think it's time Nintendo lets them do something else. They have more than earned it, in my opinion. Next up is Tears of the Kingdom Deluxe Edition. Tears of the Kingdom was a hugely ambitious game that by many accounts shouldn't even be possible on the aging Nintendo Switch hardware. It sold more than 10 million copies in its first 3 days of release, and over 21 million copies by December 2024. Also a great success. Being so ambitious also meant that the performance wasn't the greatest at times, especially when building big contraptions and riding them in the open world. There is no guarantee yet that backwards compatibility will fix this just yet. A couple years ago, Eurogamer reported that a Breath of the Wild demo was shown running on Switch 2 specs behind closed doors, with faster loading and 4K upscaling. This doesn't necessarily mean that they are doing a Breath of the Wild remaster though, as it was just a tech demo. If you think about it, Tears of the Kingdom needs the remaster treatment more. The game running at 60 frames per second and a higher resolution would be great, but let's not forget the potential more hardware power can bring to the game. A deluxe edition could feature multiplayer in the open world, or in a smaller sandbox where players can race their creations or battle each other a la Robot Wars. We never got a Master Mode or Trials of the Sword, or any kind of expansion for this game. A Trials of the Sword type scenario where you're given a few random Zonai parts to work with would be so much fun, using your creativity in fun ways to defeat enemies and challenges. Next up, Astral Chain 2. Things have been very quiet with Platinum Games lately, the developer of the Bayonetta series and Astral Chain for Nintendo. There have been rumors of Platinum Games restructuring and some inner turmoil. Bayonetta creator and legendary game designer Hideki Kamiya left the company to start a new team with Capcom named Clovers. Does this mean they aren't making any more games for Nintendo? I don't think so, not just yet. With Kamiya leaving, I don't see Platinum making a Bayonetta game next. It's hard to find good data, but Astral Chain has seemed to have sold just as much as Platinum's other big Switch game, Bayonetta 3, if not better. Astral Chain also outscored Bayonetta 3 on Metacritic by 1 point, with Bayonetta scoring a respectable 86 and Astral Chain scoring an 87. The IP rights for Astral Chain were bought by Nintendo from Platinum Games a few years back, and I think it's not just to hold on to the IP. Astral Chain is a very creative game, and I can see Nintendo being pleased with the work done there. It's such a cool IP, with great art design and music. Game director Tora Takahisa has said he has a lot of ideas at his disposal, and that if there's an opportunity to make a sequel or more entries, he would be able to do so. Yoko Taro, director and scenario writer for Nier Automata, told BunnyGaming.com that Astral Chain is the best game ever. Maybe the game will sell really well, and then Tora has a chance to create a sequel. I'm hoping they do give him another crack at it, as there's more to explore in Astral Chain's world and game design. Our last wildcard pick for this video is not a game per se, but a feature that could breathe life into many older Nintendo games. How about N64 RTX on NSO? We don't know 100% that the Switch 2 will be able to do this, but many believe that it will have DLSS and ray tracing capabilities. RTX ray tracing simulates how light behaves in the real world by tracing individual rays, creating realistic reflections, shadows, and lighting in real time. Unlike older games that use tricks to fake lighting, RTX allows light to bounce naturally, making scenes look far more lifelike. Games like Doom and Tomb Raider from the N64 and PlayStation generation have received the RTX treatment on PC already, and they look great. Imagine Super Mario 64 or GoldenEye RTX. Would also be nice to see some online play on NSO without the need for friends. It would make it a lot more fun if it was open for everyone to play together. And by the way, when is Buck Bumble coming to NSO already?
What about now? It's time to rock with the biggity Buck Bumble. Bum to the bum to the bum to the bass. Bum to the bum to the bumble. Bum to the bum to the bum to the bass.